The verdict's out. Guilty, all 4 charges. Alex Murdaugh, South Carolina man. 2 first-degree murder charges, 2 deadly weapons charges, and I guess he did kill his son Paul and his wife Maggie back in 2021. This was just a strange case all the way through, and it just kept adding. Every time they peeled a layer back, it's like, wow, this was a bad dude. This was a bad dude. But his son, God rest his soul, I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, his son had his own troubles too. 2018, his son Paul borrowed the family boat, little bass boat, speed boat, whatever you want to call it. Took all his friends out drinking and riding in the boat. They'd stop at different piers, they'd have bars, riverside bars, and they'd stop and drink and continue to ride in the boat. Well, one of his friends, his girlfriend, sitting beside him, they're riding in the river, said he was doing donuts on the water, and come out and hit a piling under a pier, which is a big concrete mass. You're not going to win that. Sends her out in the water. They don't find her body for 5 days. No charges, no time is ever served by Paul for the death of, I know her last name was Beach. It wasn't Melanie. I can't remember. I should have wrote some notes down, but anyway, a girl died and Paul was driving the boat, and you know, members of the community kind of frowned upon that the whole time. But the Murdaugh family was one of those families that was just so well known, so powerful in the community. Alex Murdaugh had his own law firm. The family was well to do. He was a 3rd or 4th generation lawyer. I mean, that's what his family done. You know, they were, if they wasn't serving in a public office, they were a high-paid lawyer in that community for years and years. So anyway, no charges were ever brought on Paul. Some people had some, they didn't feel too good about old Paul. Fast forward to 2021, the night of, Alex Murdaugh calls the police a little after 9 o'clock, claims he stumbled upon the body of his wife and his son down at their dog kennels. Well, he's not distraught, but you never know how shock's going to affect you. If I walked up on my family or somebody that I know that had been murdered, I think I'd be out of my mind a little bit. But he was just kind of making phone calls, telling the family. This was all body cam footage. I watched 32 minutes of body cam footage. Cops walking around looking at the crime scene. You actually saw the spatters of blood inside the door of the kennel where Paul had been shot. And Maggie was a little further out. They had another shelter where you park ATVs, side-by-side, stuff like that. So the bodies were actually only like 30 yards apart from each other. Said he just walked up on it. Said he claimed his day was him and Paul had rode around hunting for hogs or looking for signs of hogs, which there's a lot of in South Carolina, the low country, that's what they kept calling it. So that day they had rode around, and said he was tired. He had went home and took a nap, a short nap, and this is Alex I'm talking about, by the way, the father. Said he took a short nap and then woke up and decided to go check on his elderly mother, which is right down the road from their home, so not too far. A little after 9, it was either 9 or 9:30, he came back, claimed he had tried to call Paul and tried to call Maggie, texted them, called them, said he didn't get any answer, so he decided to go down to the kennels. Supposedly that's when he found their bodies. Both of them shot in the back of the head. And I just couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. I would be so distraught and just lose my mind right there. But anyway, he called law enforcement, and they did their thing that night. They picked up a bunch of little shell casings. So 2 guns were used, a .300 Blackout, which is an AR platform pistol, and some kind of shotgun. But they found shell casings from the shotgun and a .300 Blackout. Then you go ahead 3 days, and 3 detectives come to see Paul, excuse me, come to see Alex Murdaugh at his home. They get him inside their SUV. They've got a camera mounted up by the sun visor, and they're just questioning him to see where you were, where you went, what time, such as that, just to get, just to build a storyline of where he was that night leading up to the murders. So he told him just what I told you then. He went to go check on his mom, come back. Well, apparently, this was his first red flag. They found out that he had been at the kennels prior to the murders, which he told them he was definitely not beforehand. I don't know if it was Paul or Maggie, but somebody made a short Snapchat video. It may have been Paul. Somebody made a short video. You heard the mom, you heard the son, and for just a brief second, you heard another man's voice, which everybody they interviewed in the court said, well, that's Alex. That's Alex on the video. So, red flag. You've told a lie that you wasn't. You said you wasn't somewhere that you definitely was. So that's the first red flag. And then, so everybody they had on the witness stand, this was a powerful family. So everybody's kind of like, oh no, he's a good guy. There's whatever. He has his troubles like anybody else, but overall he's a good guy, great family, great kids. We don't think he done it. And then it just kept snowballing from there because that first lie, they just kept digging. They kept digging. They said, so, if he's a liar, what about his business dealings? Oh, Lord, here we go. So they get his ex-business partner in there. And the defense attorney, they're supposed to kind of build up the character of who they're defending. And he kind of done a little different than I would have. He said, this your ex-business partner over here, Mr. Alex Murdaugh. Guy on the stand said, that's right. He said, he stole millions of dollars from you. He said, that's correct. He said, he stole millions of dollars from your clients. That's right. He even stole $245,000 from a dead guy. That's true. $245,000 from the estate. He said, you're not mad at him, are you? He said, well, I was, but I'm not mad anymore. He said, seemed like you might still be mad about something like that. I thought I was watching Matlock for a minute. It was kind of funny. But anyway, so drug use, they kept saying about the opioids, just basically tanking his law firm that he started it. Murdaugh and Associates, he started it. Lied about his whereabouts. I think the wife's phone or something. He had the wife's phone and threw it out. And I think somehow they found out that he was the one that done that. So all this stuff kept snowballing and back and forth. And I'm like, man, I was kind of hoping that he didn't do this to his family. But, well, today they found out he definitely did. And it was just a weird verdict. They didn't sentence him, but they gave the verdict of guilty. And, most murder trials, if the family member of the murdered parties are there, they usually try to get in their 2 cents, like, hey, you dirty dog, or we knew you did it, or you suck, something. No, this was just quiet. They put him in handcuffs after they told him all 4 counts guilty. They walked him out. You could have heard a pin drop. It was quiet. So tomorrow, they're going to do the actual sentencing. I don't know if I'm going to do another video for that, but I just thought, in case you hadn't watched the case, in case you hadn't seen the body cam footage, the detective footage, there was also some phone calls back and forth from the jail. Paul's oldest son, Buster. I have just accidentally, but somehow on purpose, watched all this stuff, and I just wanted to kind of put it in a package, a little 10-minute package to give to y'all. So when they read the do the sentencing tomorrow, you could be caught up. But that's all I got on Alex Murdaugh. Kind of sad. South Carolina's right up the road from me. Just a bad deal all the way around. But apparently he done it, and they said the minimum charges that he could get would be 60 years. He's in his 50s, so I'm gonna call that a life sentence either way tomorrow. Not looking good for him. And then the poor son, his oldest son, Buster, his mom's gone, his brother's gone, and now his dad's gonna be locked up for the rest of his life, so I don't know. But we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Y'all have a good night and a better tomorrow, and we'll see y'all then.